What's up, self-healers? Lisa Lightfeather here. Welcome to my channel, Closing the Gap. We make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at when you're healing in your spiritual journey. Today, I want to come on and speak about the final test for the healed empath. Okay? And so there's a process that the empath or the chosen, because a lot of people are referring to the healed empath or the empath as the chosen, right? It's just another term. So the empath goes through their life wanting and desiring relationships. And so they will run into these people, these archetypes. It's usually in the form of the sociopath, which is most dangerous, which is very dangerous. The covert narcissist, which is also very dangerous. It's a combination of narcissism and sociopath. The vulnerable narcissist, which usually is the one that always plays the victim, but deep down inside, they're like poisoning your food or spitting in your food or doing something behind your back. And you have the grandiose narcissist, right? So there's several mental health issues, but that's just something I'm throwing out there. So the empath will go through life experiencing these. A lot of times, the empath comes through the vaginal walls of a psychopath or a covert narcissist, a grandiose narcissist. The empath is birthed through the vaginal walls of one of these beings. They're also released from the male counterpart. At any rate, the empath goes through these different relationship dynamics throughout their life, beginning at birth. They may get into these relationship dynamics willingly or unwillingly. However they get in there, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is they have to go through these cycles of evolving. So they may get into these relationship dynamics, and they stay in these relationship dynamics for years, for months, for decades. They will have to experience all the versions of this entity, because this is a spirit. This is spiritual warfare at the end of the day. Now, to really understand this video, one has to have been awakened. They have to have some type of spiritual knowledge. Otherwise, you're just going to think that I'm talking rah-rah. So this is not some by the book DSM-5 in black and white conversation here. This is something that you have to have lived, and you have to have a spiritual eye to see. Yes? And so I know a lot of people are awakening, and you have a spiritual eye to see, so you will understand this. And if not, you will understand it later on your journey. But trust me when I tell you, it's not fake, it's not made up, it's not a lie. It is spiritual warfare. It's actually happening between the chosen empath and the narcissist. So the chosen empath will get into relationships, and they will have to suffer the narcissist or the psychopath. They'll have to suffer at the hands of them. And they will have to do this over and over and over again until they are masters at reading the energy. Remember, the unhealed empath is always hoping, always wanting to be in relationship, always wanting to be accepted. The empath will have to master these energies. The empath, the chosen empath, is not here to be in a relationship. So go ahead and keep trying if that's what you want to do. But you're going to keep experiencing the narcissist empath dynamic over and over again until you get it through your head that that's not your mission here on this earth. There are other dimensions within this universe that are higher dimensions, higher vibrational frequencies than the earth. The earth is the lowest vibrational frequency. It's referred to as the earth school. And it is the hardest dimension to pass. It's the hardest one. This human body is the heaviest to withstand. And so when your spirit chooses to come back to the earth school, the University of Earth, it is signing up for a very difficult life. When you hear people have near-death experiences and their spirit journeys throughout the other dimensions, then they get to a certain point, and then someone shows up and says, it's not your time. and they have to come back here, they are pissed. Because they've literally felt what the other dimensions feel like and how light it is and how peaceful it is. The University of Earth is the hardest university you will ever go to. So give yourself kudos for even signing up for it, right? Or whatever karmic debt you have to pay off, you came back here to the University of Earth to do so. So it is a literal spiritual warfare between the narcissist and the empath. And so the empath will have to experience different levels of narcissism. Within these spirit realms, there is a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy. There's a ranking system. Depending on where you are on that ranking system will dictate what level of narcissist will be sent to you. Now, I'm not talking about these little flimsy narcissists that come and they come to the healing circles and they want to leech on other people and attach to other people's energy and feed. I'm not talking about them. Child's play. It's straight child's play. I'm talking about these narcissists that come to you under the disguise of being in a relationship with you. Because they are getting close to you. They're getting within your auric field. They're getting within your spiritual body. They're getting within your physical body. There is a connection via intercourse that gives them a connection. Like it's like you're the plug and they are the cord, and they plug into you, and that's how they get their energy. You can't get any closer than that. I'm talking about those narcissists, the ones that the empath keeps trying to get in a relationship with. Stop it. The empath dreams of this fantasy world of relationship, right? And so they keep trying. And to be quite frank, they're encouraged through society. Don't give up. Everybody has their perfect person. Everybody has somebody. Right? That's what we're fed on a constant basis. And I'm not saying that statement's not true. Maybe we will evolve so high that chosen will be with chosen. Who knows? And empaths can be with empaths, and narcs can be with narcs, and they can go over there and just feed on each other of what's left of them. So once you awaken, you have a final challenge. And within this final challenge, excuse me, my seats. Within this final challenge, some of the most highest ranking psychopaths, the highest ranking covert narcissist, and the highest ranking grandiose narcissist will be sent to you. Now, by this time, because you yourself are a high-ranking empath, you've done the work. And so you yourself on the hierarchy, you're high-ranking. Because you've been doing the work, you've been doing your inner child work, you've been doing your shadow work, you've had your Kundalini awakening. Some of us, most of us, you've done all this work. You've done the therapy. You've done it. And so now you are considered a high-ranking empath because you're aware of yourself. You know your darkness. You know everything about yourself, and the stuff that you don't know, when it comes up, you're willing to face it. So the final test is that the high-ranking narcissist, the one that's been chopping off heads their entire life, the high-ranking sociopath, the high-ranking covert narcissist is sent to you. And it happens quickly. It'll be back to back to back. But it's normally in an intimate type of form, someone who can get really close to you. They're basically in your house, in your spirit, in your auric field. So it might be sent to you in the form of a boss, but most times it's sent to you in the form of a relationship. And so you might get these three relationships back to back to back, or three people that you're dating back to back to back. The sociopath comes. Now that's the one that's the most deadly. They don't want you. They never have wanted you. They want something that you have. You got to pass that test. The only way you can pass the test is if you're in close proximity. And you have to pass that test because it's spiritual warfare. It's a battle. It's a battle. Now, of course, you can have spiritual warfare from a distance. Those of us who know our own capabilities know that we can have spiritual warfare from a distance. But this test is close proximity. So the sociopath will come. And you'll find yourself in an intense, dangerous situation. You got to get out of it. You got to be able to see it. Yep, you got to be able to maneuver it. The sociopath is like a dark entity. And they've come to give you your final test to see if all that you say you've done, all the work that you've done, is it real? And so by this point, you've learned to play your cards right. You've learned how to maneuver this energy, because this energy is dangerous. The sociopath is very dangerous. The sociopath will kill you just to see what it sounds like, what it looks like. The narcissistic sociopath, now, they think about it first, because especially like if you're around something of theirs in their car or their property, they might say, well, I could do something to them just to see what it sounds like or what it looks like, but I'll mess up my car. You know what I mean? And so they'll wait till they're in your car. It's not funny. It's quite scary. But the chosen empath will be tested with this type of energy. The grandiose narcissists will come around. And they'll come up on their white horse with their flowers and their champagne and their wedding band in the pocket. And the chosen empath will be tested again. Have you thought about marriage? The unhealed empath. Oh, yes, I just always dreamed of getting married. The healed empath. No, I'm not interested. Because they see it, right? So these are high-ranking narcissists and sociopaths that are sent your way. And they're sent your way just that last final time. And you'll know when it's the final time. You'll just know it, because you'll be done. You'll be done. And the one thing about your spirit is that you know when you're finished. When I was in the military and I would be like, when I was a young soldier, I'd say, well, how do you know when it's time to get out? How do you know when you're done? And all those high-ranking officers would say to me, you'll know when you're done. You'll just know. And when it came my time to retire, I knew I was done. The same thing with the empath. As they learn the trials and tribulations, and they get to the point where they get that final test, it's the final exam. It's time for them to graduate. And they pass. They pass. And then you are elevated in the spiritual realm. You are promoted in the spiritual realm. Now, every time the narc comes and demolishes an empath, they're promoted in the underworld. They're promoted. The more empaths they demolish, they're promoted. The more narcissists the empath sees, the higher ranking they are. And a healed empath is dangerous to the narcissist. The healed empath wants to go into relationships for love, They go into relationships with good intentions. The narcissist does the opposite. So once the empath gets to a higher ranking position, they see the narcissist coming. Now, some empaths might play with them, like it's very dangerous though. They'll know they're a narcissist. They see them and they'll still hang around just to see how far they'll go. And then just when they think they're going to take that final blow, the empath chops off their heads. That's a shadow. Empaths, that's a complete and total shadow. But it happens. So there will be a final test for the empath. The empath should not be focused on relationship. Decenter the ideal of relationship. Decenter it. I'm not saying that it can't happen, because I truly believe that as more empaths do the work and keep getting promoted, that we will one day find each other. But it's not the center of my focus. Decenter relationships, because as long as relationships are centered, or your center, you will keep attracting the narcissist and the psychopath until you graduate. And they're always going to be coming. But once you graduate, it's like there's no test that needs to be had. I see you. Find somebody else. Get somebody else to do it. Right? So that's the ideal. The ideal is that you go through all of these trials and tribulations. Elementary school, middle school, high school, college, university. Now you're in the university and you have to pass, or they'll keep coming. And they're going to keep coming even after you graduate. And it will be high-ranking narcs. There won't be no little petty narc. It'll be high-ranking. Dark angels, dark demons. The empath becomes a dark angel once they get healed. But these dark demons, and so the empath has to slaughter them before they get to them. But until you can see them before they get to you, you're still in school, and that's okay. I just want you to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Decenter relationships. Focus on your purpose. And when you start focusing on your purpose, enlightened empaths will come in contact with enlightened empaths. Yeah? So it's certainly spiritual warfare. They don't want to see you win. And when you start doing the work that I'm doing right now, they start coming for you energetically. They start coming from you spiritually. And it's no joke. It may be like, oh, you're just sitting in front of the camera and you're just talking. It is spiritual warfare. When you start coming from this level where you're reaching hundreds and hundreds of people, and those people can tell that you are telling the truth. The narcissist demon gets irritated and they come for you. But the healed empath, they got this. Yeah? Well, that's all I have for you today. Here on Closing the Gap, we make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and your spiritual journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. If you're really feeling my vibe, please don't forget to hit the bell notification so that you know when I upload. Someone like the video for you so they can get into your algorithm. Like it for somebody else. We'll see you next time. Have a good day.